guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Danielle with Damn Fancy Creations, and today I have another fun summer tumbler tutorial planned for you guys. This one is another Dawn Powerwash Spray tumbler technique, but this tumbler we're going to use a glitter base versus a spray painted base in my original Powerwash tumbler tutorial. So this way, when we start with a glitter base for our tumbler, after we apply the power wash and the spray paint and wash it all off, the glitter is what's going to be kind of peeking through all those little spots that the power wash was touching, which I really like this effect. It's super cool. So we're going to be using some yellow glitters and make it really kind of spring summery. And then we're going to add a fun summer quote to the tumbler. I really like how this turned out. I hope you guys enjoy this tutorial, and it's as easy to follow as my first one. So if you guys are ready to see how I do the Dawn Powerwash Spray over a glitter base, let's get started. Alright, so we are going to start with a prepped tumbler. I spray painted this one white with Rust-Oleum and then spray painted it yellow with, I believe it's called Sunshine by Rust-Oleum. I will link it in the comments. And then I am just applying epoxy. Now, when we are applying glitter with the epoxy method, you don't need a ton of epoxy. You guys can see how I am spreading this epoxy pretty thinly across the entire tumbler. And we don't want it to be too thick, because if it is, then different spots will soak up the glitter differently, and we want to make sure that the glitter is pretty evenly soaked up all the way around the tumbler. So once we apply the epoxy, I will torch it, pop all the bubbles, and then we will sprinkle on the glitter. I did have other cups that I needed to pop the bubbles on, but I decided just to film all of this at once. And for the main yellow color, I am going to be using St Jude from Peachy Olive Glitter. It's probably one of my favorite yellows. And you guys can see I am just pouring this glitter onto the tumbler. This way I am sure that the entire tumbler is covered with glitter. And this glitter does cover really, really well, but if you feel like your tumbler needs a little bit more coverage, you can definitely go around the tumbler one more time with the glitter. But mine was pretty evenly covered, so I am using a few different chunky glitters just to give it a little more interest, so it's not just one color that will be peeking through when we do the power wash. And I did not really sprinkle this in any rhyme or reason. I just kind of sprinkled it all the way around the tumbler. And for the last color, I am just kind of sprinkling it on. This one was a darker yellow gold color, so I didn't want too much on there. I really wanted the main body to be yellow, so we were just lightly sprinkling this one, except for that one spot that just fell on, but is fine because we are going to be covering it with spray paint. So after that layer of epoxy has cured, we are going to go back in with a second layer of epoxy, and this is going to cover our glitter. And the reason why I use the epoxy method for this is because I was using chunky glitter, and if you use the epoxy method, it tends to help glitter lay a little bit more flat than if I were using my clear spray paint way to apply the glitter. But I just use whatever way works best for me. Sometimes I'll use the clear spray paint, which I do like because it basically helps me skip a step. I don't have to wait for the epoxy to cure. But for certain glitters, I do like using the epoxy method. And for the next layer of epoxy, the one that I am currently applying, I do use more epoxy than I use for applying the glitter. This way, the glitter will get covered really, really well, and we're not going to have any bare spots. And once that once that epoxy is on, then we are going to torch it again and pop all those bubbles. And I do suggest getting a large torch if you don't have one, because it definitely pops bubbles 10 times better. So this is what the tumbler will look like after 2 layers of epoxy. I already sanded my top and bottom rims. If you have not seen how I did that, I do have several videos on my channel showing how I do that. Then we're going to need some Dawn Powerwash spray and some white flat spray paint. I like to use flat because it does dry a lot quicker than gloss or semi-gloss. So what we're basically going to do is spray our tumbler with the Dawn Powerwash spray. Wherever you spray the Dawn Powerwash, the spray paint will not touch. So for this particular tumbler, I do want one area to be pretty white because that is where my water slide is going to go. And I will point out that you will see me doing that. I always start with less, and I can go back and add more if I need to, more of the power wash. So once my power wash is on there, I am just going to spray the entire tumbler with the white spray paint. You do have to work kind of quickly with this because you don't want your soap to start dripping off. And then after you spray paint it, we are going to pour some water over the cup. And this will wash all the power wash off of the tumbler. And you guys can see all of the glitter poking through or peeking through. So I did need another area to be a little bit more white. So after this dried for a little bit, I went back and added some more power wash. So I was covering up the areas that I did not want my spray paint to be, and I left a larger area kind of blank so that when I went back and spray painted, that area would be a little bit more white and better for my water slide application. So you guys can see that this is a little bit more white. I did want to add a little bit more. So you can go back and do this several times, which is why I like to start out with just a little bit, because I don't want to spray too much and then have to remove all of the spray paint with acetone and start over. It's just easier for me to add a little bit, spray a little bit, and then add more if I need to. So after I had sprayed several times and washed it off, this is what it looked like. So now what I'm going to do is add another layer of epoxy because I want to add in some microfine glitter and then apply my water slide. So this is what the tumbler looks like after it has been epoxied again and I added some microfine glitter into the epoxy. This is just so it was super sparkly, but it was more sparkly than just yellow glitter everywhere. So my water slide has been sitting for a little while. If you're not familiar with Waterslide, I do also have several videos on how to do that. Waterslide is basically a special paper that you can print on, seal with Rust-Oleum 2-time spray, and then soak it in water and slide it onto your tumbler. I do like using Waterslide because it is easier to maneuver around. But if I do have a darker tumbler, I also like using printable vinyl. It's really just kind of personal preference. But once you apply your water slide, you want to make sure that all of this water is squeezed out from underneath the image because you don't want any water underneath this image when you go to epoxy because that can cause issues down the road. So I will typically let my water slide sit for 30 minutes to an hour or so. You can kind of feel a difference in the water slide when it does start to dry. Some people like to sit it overnight. Some people like to wait an hour or so. Either way is fine as long as you are sure that it is dry. And with the water slide, you can kind of maneuver it around until it is dry. So I am just taking my microfiber cloth and just smoothing it out and squeezing all that water out. And after I was happy with how dry the water slide is, I decided that I was going to add some gold leaf kind of at an angle on the back of the tumbler. I just wanted something to have a little bit more interest on the tumbler other than just the glitter and Dawn Powerwash spray. I thought the gold leaf would be a fun addition because it wasn't super noticeable, but it really tied in. I like the gold and yellow color combo. So I am using Quick Coat by Counterculture to just apply some random little, I guess, brush strokes of Quick Coat, and then I am going to apply the gold leaf. I know you guys have seen me apply gold leaf several different ways. I can either use Quick Coat, I use a glue stick, you can use double-sided tape, all sorts of ways. Each of them have their pros and cons, I think. It just depends on what you want to use and what base you are applying it to. So I am just going to do this up and down the tumbler. I'm just applying random spots of Quick Coat and then laying some gold leaf down. And this is why I like to use the gold leaf sheets, because you can cover a larger area, especially with the Quick Coat, or even if you're using a glue stick. A lot of times you can't actually see where you have applied it. You're just basically guessing. So with the sheets of gold leaf, when you lay it on, you're more likely to hit a spot where you have applied the Quick Coat or glue stick. And with the flakes, you kind of have to really know where you have applied it. So after I have applied all the gold leaf, I let it sit for a little while so it was dry. And then I took a big bristle brush and brushed off all of the gold leaf. My video cut out while I was filming me brushing it off, so I did not get to film that part for you guys. But basically, just when the gold leaf is dry, or the quick coat is dry, you can just take a bristle brush and brush it all off. And then if you feel like you need some more gold leaf, which I felt like I did need a little bit more gold leaf in the center back of the tumbler, so I just went in with a little thin brush, added some more quick coat, and then I added some more gold leaf. And I was just using the gold leaf that I had brushed off from before. That way I was not wasting any, and I was just kind of dabbing it on the tumbler. And then again, after this quick coat dries, I will take my bristle brush and brush all of this off. And then with gold leaf, I do like to seal it. I either seal it with quick coat or Rust-Oleum 2 times clear spray. This way it just covers the gold leaf. Sometimes I have issues with the gold leaf repelling epoxy, sometimes I don't, but I would rather just be safe than sorry. And the clear spray or the quick coat also helps to kind of flatten out the gold leaf, so you're not trying to cover too many little bumps of gold leaf that may be sticking up. And then once the sealer is dry on the gold leaf, I will put it back on my turner for another layer or two of epoxy, and then it will be complete. So I really like how this tumbler turned out. It was just something I went with and kind of added to as I went on. I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial, and I can't wait to see what kind of summer tumblers you guys come up with after watching this tutorial. If you guys enjoyed this video or learned something new, please be sure to like, subscribe, and share. Don't forget to catch the next video coming up that was picked just for you. As always, if you're looking for more tips, tricks, or tutorials, be sure to check out my tutorial group on Facebook that is linked in the description. Thanks for watching.